Woo! What's up, guys? Hey, 5150 Fridays. I know you've been waiting on it. Here it is, 5150 Fridays. We got 3 smoking Van Halen licks here for you. And I don't know if I'm gonna do this every single Friday, but when it's a Friday and I post a Van Halen video, it'll be 5150 Fridays. So that's what's going on. If you want tabs for this video, snag them down below. These are just 3 of my favorite Eddie licks. Now, I should point out, I'm not saying that I play these licks perfectly. I've always been more of the player who I just really like taking the idea away from a lick. I never really like learn everything, note for note, the way that it is. A couple of things I forgot to add in here is that Eddie's tuned down a half step for a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I think even Beautiful Girls is half step down. I think it's all half step down. I am tuned to standard though, so I don't know. I just like playing in standard tuning. So if you want to play along with Eddie, of course, you got to tune down half step. And if you're wondering why I'm not using a Floyd Rose guitar, dude, all my Floyd Rose guitars are being funky. So I was just like, you know what, forget it. Hardtail this baby and let's go. Lick number 1 from I'm the One. Actually, 2 of these licks are from I'm the One. And, you know, I'm the One is just, talk about a masterclass in Eddie Van Halen. Like, if you can play either of those solos, you're a madman, for one. So the first little lick here is this little build-up he does in the first solo. And I always loved this little run because he kind of, it's Eddie Van Halen. He's not playing a scale. He's playing the Eddie Van Halen scale, which I'll do a video on this soon. So anyways, it looks like this, slow. Then kind of like medium speed. Butchered that a little bit there. But it's such a cool little run just to throw in. The way I'm kind of singing it is like B minor. It's kind of walking. But, because he does this shape a lot. This is a total Van Halen shape. And essentially what's happening here is you're sliding into 7 on the A string. Okay? And my guitar is so loud. I will appease the volume gods and turn it down. And basically, you start off here and it's all hammer-ons with a heavy palm mute. So you go to 7 on the A string and then it goes 6, 7, 9, palm muted. Okay, then the D string, 6, 7, 9, palm muted. Okay? You gotta be able to do that first to really get the essence of the lick. Because Eddie's such a dynamic player. There's so many levels to really getting what he's doing here. And so many concepts to take away from this. Even if you don't learn the licks, just the way he presents them is so... he's the best. Okay? Now, the next thing here is this little repeating section here. So, and there's a hammer-on and there's a picked section. So it goes 6 hammer-on to 7 on the G. Okay, and then it goes to 9 on the D. And then you go back to the G and it goes 6, 7, 9 pick. I had a little bit of a palm mute. Eddie might not be. He might be playing it more open than what I am. So like I said, you can listen to the raw audio tracks if you want to. That's available on YouTube. I'm palm muting more out of habit than anything else. But again, I'm just trying to get the vibe of the lick. Not really nail it note for note. I just want to take stuff away from Okay, so he does that 3 times in a row. This is definitely not muted, because that's where his oh, there goes my pick. That's where the dynamics of what he's playing is all coming into play at, because that note jumps out, then he palm mutes. Then he starts this descending line. And Eddie's really good at, like, the second something starts to sound too much like a scale, like he's just playing down a scale, he instantly jumps out of it and does something that you're not expecting, which is what he does here, because I naturally want to keep going with this scale because I'm immortal and Eddie's a god, and he goes to this other little segment. And That's so good. So basically the descending part of this is 6 hammer on a 7 on the G, then you go to that 9 on the D. So it starts out very similar to what we were doing. But this time you go back to 6, and then you're going to go 7, 9 on the D. Okay, so we have that. So we have okay. So 6, 7 on the D, 9 on the A. So back to 6, and then 7 on the A, and this is where I'm saying he jumps out of the scale. And he bends up a full step, and then he keeps going in the solo. This is just kind of where I chose to cut off the lick. So it's right there, that little, he does a similar kind of run in Feel Your Love Tonight as well. So we have this little section here. If we want the whole thing slow again, it looks like this. Quintessential Eddie Van Halen move right there. Alright, now next is a little, kind of like a mashup of two little sections of his solo from Beautiful Girls. And I always thought that was really cool, and again, I've stolen so many things from Eddie, and when I go back and kind of like relearn some of these licks, I really realize how much, I feel like my playing doesn't sound like Eddie at all, but I realize how many little things I've taken away. And this is a perfect example of it, because he goes like this. This like really funky kind of like, instead of going like a typical blues thing, he starts on his major third. So I always thought that was really cool. So we're all the way up here at 15. Then he goes to 14 on the B. And then you're going to go to 17 on the high E string. I think I forgot to tab that out because originally I wasn't going to include that in the lick. And I was like, well, why not? You know, it kind of happens a little bit before the lick, but it all just flowed together so nicely. Now, next is like one of my most overused guitar licks ever because it's just such a good lick. I mean, if there's a lick to overuse some Eddie Van Halen licks. But it goes like this, real nice and slow. Or at least close to that. Reference the tabs to that. It's kind of a hard one to play slow because I've gotten to where my hands just kind of like naturally do it. Because I've just, like I said, I've done it so many times. So that part there is 15, 14, then bending at 17. Like I said, then we do kind of this like classic blues lick, but it's all EVH-ified. So it's 14 on the high E string, 14 hammer on 17, pull off 14 on the beat. Okay, so we have. Now you're going to go to 17 on the G and back to 14. Okay? Now here's probably the trickiest part of the whole thing, is you're going to go 17, pull up to 16, so that's your flat 5. Just that. And then you have to skip and go to the B string and go 17, pull up 14. But that's how you get that cool Eddie sound in there. Okay? And then you're going to go back to 16 on the G, 14 on the B. Now, here is probably another little like tricky section of it. It's a very standard kind of lick. 16, bend up a full step, come back down, release it, and pull up to 14. Back to 16. And this is, actually I got this lick from Angus Young, but you know, Eddie is another kind of like bluesy guy who does this a lot. It's 14 on the B, 14 on the G, and 17 on the D. So you kind of tie those two together and it adds a lot more flow. Such a cool lick, man. Eddie's blues licks are just ferocious. There's so much attitude to it. I messed it up. End. Alright, the final lick here is this one from I'm the One Again. You know, like, the two solo, I can't reference it enough. If you want to learn just Eddie Van Halen in a nutshell, but, well, I mean, he does a lot of other stuff too, but just the quintessential early Van Halen, learn the I'm the One solo. And if you can get that shuffle down, you the man. Because no one can really get that shuffle right like Eddie. But basically it starts like this, and one little thing I want to point out that Eddie does a lot on his bends, another little thing that I took from him, is the way he rakes the strings. He does a very aggressive rake a lot of the times into note. And sometimes he'll hit it with the bar and all that kind of stuff. But when he's doing this, that's where I got the raking motion from. And what I'm doing is I'm muting the strings with my right hand. If you watch my hand, it comes up like this. Basically, if you palm mute up here, it kind of kills the notes. Good palm mute, bad palm mute. But whenever you're raking the strings, I shift my hand up, that way I can get that nice, like, percussive kind of, like it's a bloom to the note. He does a lot in, like, piano, you know, all those licks that he does. So he's bending on 10. I think he's bending on 10. I can't remember at this point, to be honest. You go to 7, and it's all kind of out of this, again, B minor kind of vibe to it. Like basically Aeolian is really what he's doing. Or maybe it's like a Dorian vibe. But he's going like this. So he plays 7, and then he tremolo picks 9, 10, 12. You know, classic Eddie thing. But then he transfers and he turns it into this like picking run, kind of like a left hand involved. Which I thought was really cool. Then he goes. It's really hard to do. I think I did a pull off in the intro one because I just can't do it like Eddie. Oh, I messed up. Ah! It's so hard to do that. It's such a weird pattern. But again, so he starts out and he's tremolo picking 7, and then he tremolo picks 9, 10, 12. Then this repeating shape, he goes 9, 10, 12, 4 times in a row, but it's not tremolo picking, he's like, it's more articulate. Shifts up here, and he's gonna go 8, 12, 14, back to 12, this is the hard part, 14, 10. And then he bends 12. Okay, so we have... And he might be doing some pull-offs in there that I'm not getting. Make sure you listen to it and kind of, you know, do your own thing with it. But overall, I just thought that was such a cool lick. Every time he would do that, it's so in your face. I mean, so there's a little crash course in some Van Halen licks. Hope you guys are digging on all these. It's so much fun to learn Eddie stuff, and it's hard to do because, you know, I just think you have to come to terms that you'll never truly match Eddie at it. And he's just, in my opinion, the best there's ever been. So other than that, guys, get the tabs. I will see you all later. Let me know what you'd like to see next on these 5150 Fridays. Like I said, I'm not going to do it every week, but I will try to do it maybe once a month, twice a month. We'll see what kind of flows naturally. I don't want to put too much pressure on doing these Eddie videos because, you know, Eddie's my man. So see you all later. Peace out, homies. Keep on rocking. Later!